Hello and welcome back. Today we are continuing our Rome run here in Victoria 3. Last episode we did have a kind of big war with Russia. It was our first 1v1 versus a GP, and we did struggle a little bit because they had their capital moved to Moscow, but we did a lot of outmaneuvering, and we focused a lot of this, in the episode talking about it, which is usually we don't focus too much on the military in the episodes, and in that episode we did. And so things have been progressing quite along nicely. With that war with Russia, there remains only one little bit of the Mediterranean that is currently controlled by a GP, and so we will be looking to eventually peel that off of Austria by having them release Croatia, so that hopefully we can, integrate it. As far as, integration goes, this is the current state of the market, where most of the players here that are in our market are our subjects in one form or the other, and so we are progressing along quite nicely, maybe even nicely enough to go for full Roman borders with a full annexation of France and most of the UK, along with, all of the Rhineland type area. Oh man, they left our market. That's smarts. These guys were in our market for a very long time, and I guess they left. But we are hoping to do that. This episode, we're almost certainly going to be declaring war on Spain, looking to do that. They're currently at war with the UK, their former customs union overlord, and the main reason we want to go to war with Spain is they are currently a major power. We need to demote them to minor power. That way we can subjugate them. We can subjugate, the Ottomans currently, but it's a lot of infamy, and so we will be looking to turn a corner. We also left off on an interesting, inflection point we have here with regards to what we were doing with the tech, which we didn't really talk about last episode, but what we're doing is we're trying to get all four of the electrical techs kind of all in at the same time. And if you take a look here, we have around 1,500 or close to 1,500 progress. That's the base cost of a tech in this tier list. It's made 3,750 more expensive, and so we've gotten almost all of steam turbine, and then we've gotten almost all of electric railways, 6k of which was from the power electrical generation event. And as we finish this is the final tech, it will give us 3.75k on progress on steam turbine and electric railways, and so we are at a point where we are going to get that very, very quickly. We also here are going to be getting a little bit of more universities so that we can do more tech spread. We have 51 or 47 in the queue. We're building them in Piedmont because this is our highest pop province other than the capital, and so let's just do this. I think we're building them here. Did we put a bunch somewhere else? Maybe we put a bunch somewhere else. Although we don't hate going to 150 and really looking to pull ahead on some of the tech. So that's our Piedmont. I guess we didn't put it in, but we had planned on it. So we're going to put 51 up in Piedmont. UA, you want some alliance? I think we'll say no UA. And we will continue on our merry way. So as we finish threshing machines, we also get steam turbine, and then in just a few moments, we will be getting electric railways on top of that, and so we will be able to turn all of that on kind of all at once, if you just wait one moment. Of course, we do get that, but this is at 0 days left. Come on, let's go. What gives? We're at 0 days left. Anyways, we'll start swapping over the PMs. It's 0 days left in either case, and we will start using all of these. We will just continue because these PMs, the initial electric PM is just very, very, very inefficient, and once you get onto the next one, then it is much, much, much more efficient, and we'll actually be able to employ up, and so we will make use of that. And so we will come in, we will also turn on the automatic power looms, we'll turn them on everywhere, and then we will also turn on the electric railways everywhere, which might, give us a little bit of trouble, but we have these power plants on auto-expand, and so the ones that are fully employed are going to, start auto-expanding a little bit, or, yeah, they will try and fully employ up, they will auto-expand, and things will be nice. And so we got all three of these techs, and threshing machines. We kind of got all three of these techs at the same time. We'll turn on the threshing machine ones as well, because even if it's not going to be best, we would rather free up pops, and I think we're going to flip these on as well, and so everything's kind of coming along quite nicely. Now, with the tech, with regard to the tech, I think we are going to want to make a kind of shift towards being more militarily focused in general, but I think we're going to let the military stuff not spread a little bit more, and just take a quick, peek. We have anarchism, it's almost researched, and so this means we will suffer no penalty, effectively speaking, on any tier 4 tech we want to get, and I think Zeppelins is going to be worth us picking up. We might be worth us picking up corporate governance, although we probably should just swap off of the grain company we have. That's pretty useless. Shout out to the Guild of Millers. And so, do we want corporate governance? I'm not 100% sure here what we're supposed to do. The additional company and the additional urbanization is going to be pretty strong, but maybe we just want to start getting into the point where we can oppose really strong people either way. But I think either way, Zeppelins is the next tech, and then I guess we'll just reevaluate once we get to it. Our war with Spain is off and away. We have Liberate Andalusia and Navarra, war reps, ban slavery, and humiliate all in, and we're doing 2 naval landings, one up top, which appears to have gotten caught by their navy, and one down below, which seems to have gotten in for free. So we're going to make sure all these guys are on rapid advance. They are, and so they're going to push in right quick. As soon as they acquire any sort of resistance, we'll probably just move them and try and land somewhere else. And so what we'll do is we'll put this legion in so that they can defend here. Is that? Oh, they're beeline in the capital here, it looks like. So this should be over quickly, which is good because it is a pretty expensive war. Overall, you know, military goods seem to cost quite a bit more than they do kind of in previous patches with what they've done with a lot of the PMs. And to be fair, we could wind down some of the extra juice that's in here, but you can see here that's like tripling the price of the military goods. That's pretty substantive, and so we might even slot in for the company that improves the cost, because a decrease in the price of military goods is actually really good. And so what's really tempting is actually, so we could, and I've been wanting to experiment with this company for a while, or at least stacking these various mechanics. We could, for example, put in this company here, which, to be fair, explosives are very nice for us because we're very sulfur dense, and munition plants will be like, meh, they'll be okay, but they'll be a lot more profitable. To be fair, they're not very profitable right now, and this will give us minus 10% military goods cost. While we're fully mobilized, which we're not even fully 100% mobilized, you can see that this is costing us goods for military buildings 375k. So this would get decreased by 37k, which means that's a free money modifier because we're still getting all the buy orders for these military goods, and so that might be good enough. Actually, that might move the needle. I think that, generally speaking, the gold company is going to be better. The extra amount of minting it gives you, the extra 5% minting, on top of the extra throughput on all the gold stuff, I think tends to be better. But we don't have a lot of gold. We only have the gold mines from Inner Morocco because we didn't abuse taking South of Africa at the very start of the game. And so maybe we're in a situation where we want to put in the Roman munitions. We say goodbye to the Roman, let's say goodbye. Let's say au revoir. Let's say farewell to our dear sponsor, the Roman Grain Consortium of the Roman Republic. Shout out to you, big caked up. But this company is like doing basically nothing for us. So what I think we'll do is we will slot in, see the 5% minting, that's not going to generate us as much free money as the bonus from this, and this will also be a lot more useful because the throughput on the 3 gold mines we have, not that useful. We need more than 3 gold mines. Now, if we had 30, 40, 50, 60 gold mines, like you do if you're playing optimally, the gold company is going to be way better. But we're going to play around with this one and see if it's, kind of in, and we will get the munitions up. And we can also, off the back of this, try and export a little bit more aggressively, because we're getting throughput on this now, on our explosives. And we can try and export them pretty aggressively so that we can specialize in them a little bit more. And then also, what's this about? Okay, we'll figure that out. And then we will also export a little bit more aggressively, if we can, munitions. Now, I don't think we can. I think that that's going to be unlikely that we can export too much, but we'll export a little bit. And then I think what we're also going to do, is try and export small arms and large arms for when we're not in a very big war. That way we run a big trade route up and we can keep the price up, and so that way there's less of a shock to our system when we end up mobilizing. So we enforce on Spain here. We didn't full enforce, we didn't ban slavery because we figured it would be fine, not too big a deal. Notably, we could cut off their market access completely if we took Castile with the release of Navarra, but I don't think this is necessary. I think that they're going to become a minor, and so we can deal with them kind of as they do that. Our relations aren't even that low with them, so we could do a little cheeky improve relations, look to pull them into our customs union maybe, and so we'll see. We'll try this. I don't think it'll be that effective because we do own places which they have cores, and so we'll pull off of it if their attitude doesn't change in the near future. But what we will be doing with Andalusia and Navarra is we will be bankrolling both of them, and we will be trying to get them into the customs union, which of course is going to involve us coming in, and everything that they have really expensive we will export to them, and everything they have really cheap we will import from them. And in this way we should be able to generate a huge trade volume, and then they'll accept a trade agreement, and the trade agreement plus the bankroll will give us huge ticking positive relations when we're already at plus 50. And so between the two of these we should be able to get that relatively quickly. We are putting down 2 colonization things. This is kind of something that just generally happens after you get malaria prevention and you're kind of pushing everything, but once we put down these colonization things we will be able to look around for a type of war that I think will be good, probably annexing Syria and Israel, as well as, you know, reducing autonomy in Occitania, annexing Egypt, these types of things we have kind of coming on up. Finally, we get freedom of conscience, which is going to be fantastic for us. This has been such a rough road for us to try and... what we have done is we have gone from state... We went from state religion, and then we couldn't try and pass freedom of conscience or total separation. Then we went to state atheism. That way we could go to freedom of conscience, and now we will go total separation. So we will have gone every single church and state law in the game just to get to total separation. Now, currently, the trade unions are the only one who support that. We can't ever put the trade unions in government because HIS, they hates it. The industrialists, who have all the power because we're on wealth voting, and we're not moving off of wealth voting because this is our RP, hurrah, this is going to make it so it's very hard to do it. Now, I think we had an agitator. I think we have this gentleman. Let's see if he's old. He's only 49. Okay, so this is good. And he literally has literary, which is absolutely insane. We would love to get that on our leader, but unfortunately we have this guy who just never dies and just, drinks and has expensive taste and just ruins our country, but shout out to Rome. And so what we're going to do is we're going to stop bolstering these guys. We're going to kick them out of government, and they will instantly marginalize. And what we're going to... Oh my god, no! These guys are in the same group. Not like this. Okay, well, I guess we'll do this. We have the agrarian party in, and then we'll promote this guy. We'll promote this guy to... Why can't we grant him leadership? He's discriminated against? No! Why do you have to not be... Your culture's South Italian. Does positivist always be the wrong religion? He's just not... We were hoping that he was going to be Christian in some way. He was either going to be Orthodox or Protestant, but his religion's just off entirely, and so we can't actually promote him to government. That sucks. That sucks. Let's see if we can find another positivist of some kind. I mean, we can find a nihilist who now we can use. Now we can use the nihilist to go against, and we can use the literary nihilist. So let's actually reform the government. We can reform to this. Shout out to getting free radicals from being a silly willy, because we didn't need to slot these guys out and then slot them in and then slot them out. Although, to be fair, we're going to lose the Curia bonus, which kind of sucks, because they're really happy with us right now. But they're about to not be happy. So, we will come in, and we will invite the agitator. Now, we could invite the literary guy, in the hopes that maybe someday he becomes the leader, but he's also imposing, so that doesn't actually do anything. So let's actually sort by Intelligentsia, because these are going to be the ones that have the nihilists, and we will have the option from a few nihilists. And we could go communist in the near-ish future. There's actually no way we get this through the Industrialists. I think we're just full support for full sending. What is it? The name of the gentleman? Crassus. We're fully committed to the Crassus RP at this point, I think. Okay, so we could also use one of these guys as well, but I feel like we might not be able to promote them to government. So let's double check and see if we can figure out this guy's religion. He's Javan. Okay, so we probably won't be able to promote him to government. If he's Javan, he almost certainly is not going to be the correct religion. Where in the UI does it say what religion he is? I don't see it anyway. Culture, popularity, age. Does it really, is there really not a way to check religion? That seems tremendously unuseful. Okay, well, he's Javan. We can invite him, which implies he's not discriminated, right? And so we're going to invite him. Yeah, if he's not... hopefully this works. Bro, this is so stupid. He's being discriminated against, but we can invite him? Oh my god. This is just impossible. How are we supposed to get... I mean, okay, I guess we're just going to develop a lot of extra radicals for nothing. We have to use a communist agitator instead, or the communist guy, which is unfortunate. So we just radical it up, but we're going to go total separation now. So just as soon as we slotted in to do that stuff, the Communist Party formed, breaking away from the Agrarian Party, which is super obnoxious. So now we have to do this, but like, look at this. Look at, it's just grim. We will do this, and then we will have to reduce taxes to 0 in order to be legitimate enough to pass a law. And that's going to be really uncomfortable. So I think on top of this, we are going to reduce some government wages a little bit and reduce this a little bit. We'll keep it still a little bit high, but I'm not even sure if we can maintain this. That's just like, this is so grim. We need communists from another. We needed to invite a communist that was Intelligentsia. To be fair, they would have been pretty incompatible, and so we would have had not the most legitimate government, but this is gonna be a ride. This is gonna be a time. So we managed to get Georgia in the customs union, and we can also invite Ukraine here. Let's take a quick look and see if anyone else is willing to join. No, it doesn't look like it, but this is going to be fantastic for us because if we take a look at the population, they don't have that high, well, actually they have a high migration attraction of 9. If we take a look here, let's take a look at Kherson, and if we just let it tick for a little bit, we should be siphoning off of these migrants because Orthodox is going to be one that is going to be accepted by us. And so we just have to wait for it to roll over to the next, Monday, but then when this happens, this migration number should go from minus 7k to, yeah, there we go, minus 62k, something like that. And so we are siphoning off a ton of migrants. It tells you where they're going. They're going to Venetia, Sicily, New South Wales, all this type of stuff. Also, we did manage to subjugate Argentina diplomatically by joining them into play against the native uprising, so that's nice. In terms of what we got here in the market, Ecuador is a subject, Peru, Bolivia is just in the customs union, and Argentina is a subject, and we didn't spend any infamy over there at all. And we're about to get colonization rights over here, after which, again, we're going to be going after Egypt and the like of those. We are having a little bit of friction trying to turn up on the... we're having some difficulty turning up on the power plants. We're running shortages in a few spots, but I don't want to turn it off, or I don't want to turn the PMs off. I just want it to kind of run through. Man, we're just really in it, aren't we? We really need a communist then. Oh, Jesus. We need a communist intelligentsia guy in order to do this if this won't work. We're hoping for a lucky tick. We really need a really good tick here. If we get a really good tick, we can just slot these guys out of government and reform a new government. Right? As long as it's making progress. It's making progress, right? Yeah. Just really slow. Oh. There's nothing we can do to increase the legitimacy here. That's unfortunate. What are we supposed to do? Man, I don't want to come off the law. Maybe we're supposed to bolster the trade unions here? Maybe that'll do something? In theory, we should also be able to bolster the Industrialists to try and help this out, but we'd rather bolster up the trade unions, so let's try bolstering them and see if that'll take us from illegitimate. But running illegitimate is not ideal. Well, our trade unionist guy, who was a communist, just died, so I guess it doesn't matter anyways. So I think we're just going to slot in this. We're going to not be able to pass this law. It's really annoying because we actually we're not, even though we're on... what is it, freedom of conscience, we actually accept less of our pops than before, because we have a bunch of atheist pops now, and so we don't accept any of these guys, so we have way more discrimination. And maybe the atheist pops will agitate for, well, they're agitating for restore state atheism, which we're not about, and so this is just like an absolute nightmare. But we're going to try and get on women's suffrage right now, because we do have a feminist in the rural folk, and so this will be something we can do. We also have an ethno-nationalist, shout out to them, and then we'll be much more legitimate legitimate here, so we can re-increase taxes up to something kind of more reasonable looking. And then we also don't need to bolster these trade unionists anymore. And so we can put in some consumption taxes and then crank and stank the construction, I think. Also, notably, taxing these guys might be able to give us a chance of, like, destroying the cloud of the industrialists, but it just seems like they're just stuck in. They're stuck in on this idiot here who has expensive tastes and been giving us 5% tax waste for, like, forever now. So France is about to have a bit of a time. They have a huge rev. We have actually put in to support France in exchange for French Botswana, or wherever this is, French market, right here, French Botswana. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to leave them immediately as soon as the war starts, and what we are going to try, that's not what we wanted to do, and instead we're going to try and do a bunch of trade with the radical French market. What we are hoping we can manage to do is that we are hoping we can pull them into our customs union, because they are not a great power. And so if we run up a whole bunch of trade with them, maybe we can pull them into the customs union. If we can't, we're at least going to get French Botswana, which is going to help us to avoid some of the negative events you get, as well as maybe help us cut off Great Britain a little bit easier. But it looks like we're securing most of the interior South Africa, or, you know, sub-Saharan Africa for ourselves here. But this is going to be a bit amusing when we just leave them as soon as the play starts and get the stuff for free. So the moment the war breaks out, look at all these guys that are, we're the only one helping out right now? Well, what we're going to do is we're just going to leave this war. There's no war goals on us, and we have, in fact, gotten French Botswana, and by French Botswana, I of course mean Roman Botswana. And so what we're going to just say, hey, you know what, we were just kidding when we said we would help out, and we're not going to help you out. And instead what we will get is we will get to improve relations with them, and we're going to bankroll them, and we are hoping they're no longer going to be in conflict, right? So we're going to have plus 100 whatever on the relations. They're going to be genial. And in fact, they would be willing to join or have a trade agreement. Let's see how close they are to a customs union. Because if they stay minor power, this will be fantastic for us, as long as they win. But are they going to win? Probably not. But here's the thing. So they're fighting against France right now. Just France and all of France's allies. However, none of France's allies can reach this front. So how many of these units are actually French? 57. How many of these are the French, radical French Empire? 62. So as long as no one tries to do a naval landing against them, they will win this. And also, we don't actually have positive relations with them yet, which means, and even if we did, we could subjugate them if they manage to win this and they stay a minor power. Now let's see, are they going to rank up? They need their prestige at least 357, so it doesn't look like they're going to rank up. If we have an opportunity to subjugate them for basically, or subjugate someone who ought not to be subjugatable, we're going to go for it. And if we do that, we're going to be turning a corner in terms of the infamy. And if we're going to do that, I think what we need to do is we need to build up the army a little bit more. So we're going to get a couple more of these defensive stacks, put them in, especially, and we're recruiting, by the way, when we recruit these, we're recruiting in areas that have unemployment or a ton of peasants, looking to de-peasant kind of more than anything, which is why we have a ton from North Africa. And so we're going to try and do this. We're going to expand the army. We're going to probably switch after Zeppelins. We're probably going to switch to military tech in the event that this happens. And so this is kind of what we're going. So this is what we're waiting on. We haven't gone after Egypt yet because that's 20 infamy, and we are hoping to stay low infamy, but you know, France is too much to pass up. So it appears that Russia is cheating and can somehow assign to this front, which is kind of unfortunate for us, but it looks like at the same time their army sucks and France is winning. Radical France, that is. We are bankrolling Radical France. We really want Radical France to win. We are sending them all the trade stuff that they need in order to win this. And so the question is are they going to win enough battles to get this? Because they're on rapid advance, they're advancing quickly, and they're about to gain some progress here. And so if they can get multiple layers of progress, we are in for a very, very fortunate situation. So we're going to go Djenne right now, and then we might audible off of that. But the real crux is going to be, what does the second battle look like? What does this next battle look like? And how good is it? And it looks good. It looks good. It looks like Radical France is going to be winning this war, which is an absolute insanity for us. Capital of France is fully occupied now, and they are decaying down quite quickly. And so it's just a matter of time before the radical French Empire overtakes them. And the radical French Empire, still a minor power. Okay, I think we messed this up slightly. First of all, these guys got spat out instantly as a major power, but I think it only took 1 day for them to change to a major power, and this is a pretty big error, because what we had seen was that we actually have a truce with these guys, which I didn't realize we were going to, because we had swayed on the side of France, in exchange for Botswana, and so unfortunately, we will not be getting them. Just very, very painful. We got our hopes up so high, but it's not gonna work out the way we wanted to. Actually, now that I think about it, the fact that they would have become a major power during the war means that it would have been bricked anyways. Because if you start a war when they're a minor power to subjugate them, and then they become a major, it just bricks your war goal. So we're going to have a French Republic. Now they are on a cooperative ownership, so there's going to be a lot of people belligerent towards them, and so this is going to be how things kick around. I mean, I suppose maybe we could try and get them into the customs union. One of the problems is, though, now we didn't notice that they were Council Republic. We are going to have this significant negative modifier. We have incompatible economic systems, and so it's very unlikely we can pull them into the customs union, although we can hope to maybe get a trade agreement, but even then, it doesn't look too particularly good. But a lot of people will be willing to side against the French Empire or the French Republic, and, if someone manages to take some of this dirt, we can take... There's 3 provinces needed to fully separate them so that they probably become a minor power, and so maybe there's still some sort of hope for, getting this done here. I think we're going to conclude the episode here. This episode, we have struggled. We have struggled greatly. We have struggled because we couldn't, annex or vassalize the French Republic, but more importantly, we've really, really struggled to get on to total separation. And I'm thinking now what we might need to do is we might need to go state atheism, then promote a nihilist to government, go back to freedom of conscience, and then use that nihilist to go total separation. I think this might be what we have to do. Or we just stick on freedom of conscience. To be fair, freedom of conscience isn't terrible, other than we discriminated against all the atheists we created by going atheism. And if we go atheism again, we'll create a bunch of atheism. If we look at our population, we look at our charts and stuff, we'll see that we have 20% of our pops are atheist, 45% are Catholic. Those 20% are discriminated against. This is discriminated against on the basis of religion. And so this is not ideal for us. If you look at political strength, it's almost all with the Catholics. This is super not ideal because we created a huge discriminated class. Or we get like a random movement to... The thing is the movement we get is probably going to be restore state atheism rather than a movement for... total separation. We really needed to prioritize this a lot earlier on when we had the nihilist movement, because I didn't realize how hard it was going to be to swap onto this, because it had slipped my attention that these guys don't have anti-clerical when they are from the papal states, and so this just kind of is rough. Or we just have to wait for a communist. So this has just been tremendously a bit of a thing. We also annexed Egypt. So perhaps annexing Egypt, it gives us very nice looking borders. We also broke up Spain this episode, I think, which is going to be good. We're looking forward to turning a bit of a corner, where we are going to start acquiring a lot of infamy here pretty soon, because we're running out of time. We have 36 years, and we need to still get a whole bunch of stuff. And so when we go high infamy, what eventually we're going to do, it's going to kick out all of our subjects, which is going to be unfortunate. It's going to include stuff like Ukraine and all this types of stuff, but then we're just going to subjugate all these guys. And the initial salvo will be a little bit rough. However, we've been making a point to side with both Great Britain and North Germany when we can to get obligations. We have obligations on both these guys. They can't join plays against us. And so we would at max have to fight Russia, Austria, France. France is got some problems. Austria is probably who we go for first, and we go for just releasing Croatia, something like this. Release Croatia and Hungary, something that's not too big a deal, and basically takes Austria out of the equation. To be fair, Russia's kind of self-taken out of the equation, and so I guess US and Heavenly Kingdom can also intervene, but things are looking pretty good. Let's just take a quick look at the charts. GDP is pulling ahead of Great Britain a pretty good amount, and as far as population goes, we have more pop than, or we're number 4. I was thinking we'd actually be ahead of Great Britain, but I guess not. Great Britain tends to annex a bunch of these guys, and then they start pulling ahead in pop quite a lot, so it's not necessarily the best representation. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube algorithm thing, and have a good day.